Right, guys, good morning, everybody. Crash of Nvidia. It's gonna happen. It was about time to we see this. We did traded Nvidia really nicely in the chat room today. It was a really nice $20,000 profit. I did have a loss on it short at the open, and I'll tell you exactly what happened. But this is what we exactly wanted. A drop of 10% on Nvidia in a single day, and it seems that now the bears are taking over the price action. So the market was going really strong, so the VOO position was pretty good, but now the market is pulling back, so it means that my calls that I sold at 480 on VOO is going to be probably safe by next week. So let's see what we're actually seeing right now in Nvidia. So I took an opening range breakout on it. So our entry was around 953, 956 for the breakout toward 968, and we did all the way up to 974. So the trade that it was successful was this one. So this was a trade that we did successfully on that. From 954 we took and then I added more at 956 for the breakout, so the average came around 954, and then we did really get a very nice breakout. It did give us a little bit of a hard time at the open. I'm going to show you exactly what happened here at the open. Sold off, came up, I went long, I added more a couple of times, a smaller size because I wasn't really comfortable. Came down, pulled back, I added a couple of times. So as this is all one trade, but eventually I got out of it because it was really messy price action on that. So it was really messy price action, so eventually I got out of it. And then it dropped from the VWAP, and I noticed that Nvidia is really getting weakness on these resistances. So I went short and I added more, and I thought that okay, if it can't really continue hold the VWAP, is going to go down. It quickly squeezed back up and it got me stopped me out, and that's where the moment that I actually took my position to the long side. So the third trade that I did, so again, this was a kind of a small loss. This was a big loss on it I had on that, and then I flipped my position to the long, and then I added more, and that was the trade that we did. I showed that again at breakout at right around 10 a.m. And this is the funny part, because sometimes as a scalper, I'm looking at this really small time frames, and I kind of forget that if you look at the higher time frame, like 15 minutes or 30 minutes, you can actually see this opening range breakouts on a higher time frame much better. So what we saw here is that Ayman actually posted something very interestingly, that he posted at around at 6:55 that Nvidia is going to shoot up after 10 probably. So he actually called it 5 minutes, not around the 10 a.m. So this is Pacific time. So he actually called it that after 10 is going to break out. So, and it did happen exactly right after 10 o'clock. It did, the breakout happened, and we did got that breakout on that. And after went up to 974, everybody was expecting to get to 1,000. It did drop. I got stopped out of the break even, and after that the collapse started. And that is a very common price action on the stocks that are extremely running up on the daily chart. Eventually break out. They constantly gap up every single day, but eventually get exhausted, and people realize that okay, this is way too extended on the daily chart. Reversion to the mean. They always have to come back to the moving averages, and then they shorting a start. And now the bears are winning, and the Nvidia dropped 10% from 980 all the way up to 880 in a matter of half an hour, 45 minutes, and that was totally understandable. That's why it's very important. You shouldn't get stuck on it short. You shouldn't stuck on it long, because on these super extended stocks, things can go either way, and you got to be really ready for it. The best trade of the day was AMD, especially at the open. Again, we had a massive run on it. It's much nicer than Nvidia. So at the open, it really squeezed up. This is this squeeze candlestick. So AMD squeezed the candlestick. I went long at 214.75, popped up to 215.50. I sold some for a quick scalp. I got out of it because I was in Nvidia. But look at this beautiful squeeze. That's just the squeeze that we really want. This is a short squeeze. Signal candlestick, and you just continued going up all the way up to 227. So this is exactly what we were hoping on that going up. But again, AMD also like 227, as you see here. Let me go to here to all the way up to 227, went there and eventually collapsed. And again, same thing on AMD. So when you are seeing that is gapping up, it's getting extended way too much on a daily chart, eventually collapses, and that's where now the bears, the short sellers are in control, and they're dumping on the price and putting the pressure on the price. And you see again, this one is also huge. I think it's about 4 or 5% drop that we had from 227 to 210. It's $17, almost 10%. Yeah, so 10% drop on the semiconductors. I don't think they're really done. So today was a very bad day on them. And again, reversion of the mean. It's always important to come back to the moving averages, which they're kind of an average. So they are coming back, and they might hover around 200 and go back up again, or it just gives the volatility. But you can't expect the stocks are moving up like that from their moving averages or ATR channels like crazy. So this was totally expected. Again, amazing volatility. You can expect amazing volatility, but just expecting these things are going to go up on a daily chart is bad. So this is what we got. We got a very, very, very nice move up, very, very nice move down. It was very difficult to get the short at the open, and I didn't trade it. I was done with my day. That's why I never really got into that. But again, a lot of people took the Nvidia trade at 10% drop. So that is again the lesson that I want to mention. That is risk management, guys. Just don't short it just because it's very extended on the daily chart. I shorted the Nvidia as well here. So I shorted Nvidia, but I got a stop out. If I was not getting a stop out, I would have had to probably take a very serious loss around 970, and it could have gone higher and higher. And I got lucky that it came down. So the VWAP is a very, very good line if you want to stay short or long. I said in the chat room that I'm not gonna stay short above the VWAP. I only stay short if it's below the VWAP. And again, it's very important, guys, to recognize this one. And we had another trade on Tesla, guys. That Tesla was a very, very nice trade. It came up on a 5-minute short, showed some sort of an engulfing. I went long, but I quickly got out of it because I thought that Tesla really doesn't have any momentum. And these engulfings are really nice when they're actually at the open, like between 935 and 940. And I just got out of it. But overall, Tesla also seems really wants to break down the 170, which was also a very important level here. I think Tesla shows weakness, and if the market pulls back next week, which is very likely, you might actually break the 174 level. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, just leave it in the comments. The collapse of Nvidia and AMD today, again on a daily chart, we didn't get to 1,000, but maybe if the mania continues, we might get back there. We had this kind of days before that you gap up and then you sell off like that, but it might come back again. All right, guys, all the best and have a good weekend.